Bob Sansevere with TwinCities.com. Web sports producer Kevin Cusick. Vikings 8. Pick who?
Well, if you listen to Blake Bortles today, as our Chris Thomason, our own Vikings beat guy, talked to his college offensive coordinator at Central Florida, number 8 could be the originally one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. Bortles says he likes the Vikings offense. He thinks he could work well with Mr. Turner, and it appears he's going to drop. The Vikings will have an opportunity. It sounds like that Manziel is going to go in the first few picks, and Clowney certainly, whatever. But Manziel may be the only quarterback taken.
I think he will be
before the Vikings, so they will have a shot at Bortles, who on some draft boards was the number 1 quarterback. He has maybe the highest upside of the top quarterbacks, and so he's already kind of lobbying to become a Minnesotan.
Well,
I was half expecting him to send a shout out to the Wild.
Well, and he probably will yet, because if he slides past the Vikings,
he's got a week.
He could have a free fall, much like Teddy Bridgewater. I think they'll be looking at both of them when they come up, and they do have interest in Bridgewater. But and it's a matter of, if you watch footage of him, phenomenal in college. It's amazing how a guy could have been the top pick or top overall and then top quarterback pick when he played the game, stopped playing games, and now he's out of the first round according to some of these draft nicks.
And the thing was, he was great. I mean, anyone who saw the Orange Bowl 2 years ago when they blew the doors off Florida, it's one of those deals where, you dance with the lady that brung you during games, and doing what he was doing in the Louisville offense, he was great and looked like the number 1 quarterback all through last year. But then you get him in these settings where they say, okay, now throw a 40-yard out pattern or whatever.
He didn't have his glove and it was chilly. Back off.
But his problem consistently in all these workouts has been throwing the deep ball and the accuracy of the deep ball, and that's why he's fallen behind Bortles, for example. And he's fallen clearly behind Manziel also, just the huge hype factor. Manziel appears to be impressing people by not lighting the room on fire when he meets them. They see that he's got a head on his shoulders, and he's not crazy.
You know what? Next year, when the next draft class comes and it's Jameis Winston, how many teams will take him out for crab legs? How could you do this to yourself? You're the Heisman Trophy winner. You're the presumed first overall pick in next year's draft, and you shoplift or get accused of shoplift. And he's doing a community service. So, I mean, they have it on video, and he's going to be – he does a community service, doesn't go on his record, but what are you thinking?
It's he might be the dumbest Heisman Trophy winner ever, except there's been a lot of pretty dim Heisman Trophy winners through the years, and a lot of guys who have just completely failed as far as NFL quarterbacks. He still has all the tools, but again, you're a guy that, for various reasons, some of them that don't really make the Tallahassee Police Department look good, got out of a sexual assault allegation, got out of under that. You would figure that would have you on your best behavior. At a minimum, you wouldn't be sticking shellfish into your clothing.
Well, that's where he had it, right? Where else was he going to put it?
I do admire his taste. There's nothing better than king crab legs over some nice drawn butter. But he also had crawfish. Crawfish.
So he had both.
Well, that's kind of like it's a chair. That's kind of more of a snack.
That's like pocket. That's where you put in your pants pocket.
I'm not big on the crawfish, but if there was any food I was going to shoplift, crab legs might be right up there with a nice tenderloin.
Clearly, you've never had crawfish etouffee at the Nolans Cookery down in Nolans.
No.
Or you would never say that about crawfish.
My one trip to New Orleans, I was at Pat O'Brien's, had the bread pudding. Fantastic.
You didn't do the hurricane?
Oh, I had a hurricane too. And I had a mint julep.
Who carried you out and poured you into your bed?
I made my way down there.
Well, we'll see if we can make our way to the next week. We'll talk even more about the Vikings draft.
And we'll pick who they're going to pick.
Blake Bortles, I can tell you now. We're coming right...
Unless they trade down.
We're going to be coming back right back next week to talk about this. Kevin Cusick, Bob Sansevere. Don't you shut that off yet, C.J. Sinner. Make everyone see you, or your hand at least. Give a wave to the millions of people who can't wait to see this.
Again?
Sure, it's a separate... Yes, again. You did it last week. You do it this week.
Say goodbye to the Colorado Avalanche jersey because you're never going to see this again.
There you go. It's sort of like the...
I'm just going to become petulant.
No, it's like the walkthrough that Hitchcock had. It's your hand. We can't do one without having your hand in it. You have a hand in this, so it's sort of symbolic. That's enough. See you later.
I can't imagine we're going to trim that.